What's up everybody, this is Master Ian Gamer, and today I'm going to talk about the many important Overwatch updates and changes, which we're going to be seeing pretty soon. These include the new Busan map hitting live servers, the Torbjorn and Rialto reworks, as well as the mysterious third new social feature. So in this video, I'm going to discuss what we know regarding these new updates, as well as when we can expect to see them in-game. If you end up enjoying this video, then be sure to like, sub, and hit the bell for more Overwatch content. Anyways, first up, let's discuss the most immediate new content update, which is the Busan control map. As we all know, this map was first revealed back in August, and was subsequently added to the PTR. At the time of me making this video, that was about 3 weeks ago, which also just so happens to be the approximate amount of time that most new content additions remain on the PTR before hitting live servers. Now looking at past maps which have been added, the longest a new map ever remained on the PTR was Blizzard World, which took a total of 64 days to reach live servers. On the other extreme though, the most recently added map before Busan, being Rialto, only sat on the PTR for 14 days. However, given the map's imbalance, which I'll be talking more about in just a minute, I think it's safe to say that this time frame was a little shorter than it should have been. Getting new content to console players and those who can't access the PTR is important and all, but not when we get things so unbalanced that Blizzard needs to go back and fix them later. So assuming that Blizzard wants to wait at least 3 weeks, Busan could be hitting the PTR as early as this week, although I believe that it may turn out to be slightly longer. Unless Blizzard officially announces its release date today, which honestly could happen, they're probably going to want at least a decent amount of time between announcement and release. We saw this happen with Wrecking Ball's release earlier this summer, so there's a good chance that it'll happen again with Busan. I would recommend planning to have it go live sometime next week, and that way, if it does come earlier, then it'll be a pleasant surprise. Also, there's a number of minor hero balance changes which will be accompanying Busan in that same update. I won't go into detail on them here, but if you want more information, then I'll include a card on screen to my video where I cover them in depth. Now, while staying on the topic of new maps, let's talk about the Rialto rework. Out of the different updates I'm going to mention today, this is the one which we'll have to wait the longest for. The reason being is that, relative to the other updates, this one was the most recent to be announced, and based off of how long the Horizon rework was in development, it could actually be some time before we see the fix for Rialto. Now, based off of Jeff Kaplan's post about the map on the forums, Blizzard seemingly has a few minor tweaks in mind which should suffice, but I wouldn't be surprised if it ends up requiring more. Going by the map stats he posted here, Rialto has an average 42.88% attacker win rate. Given that all maps ideally should have 50% for both attackers and defenders, this is more than a little off. In fact, comparing it to the win rates for the original Horizon, that map had 45.5% defenders win rate, meaning that currently, Rialto is significantly less balanced than Horizon was before it got reworked. While we are just going to have to wait and see what all Blizzard has in store for saving Rialto, it is the one thing which I don't think we'll necessarily see happening before the end of this month. And if we do see anything, it'll likely just be developer updates regarding the rework. But moving on now to a much more immediate change, we have the long time coming Torbjorn rework. Being the third significant hero rework in recent Overwatch history, the first official confirmation that he'd be getting a bit of love was announced more than 7 months ago now, way back in February. Now, since then, we have gotten some tidbits of information regarding the direction Blizzard has in mind for him, and part of this includes increasing the efficiency of turret deployment and upgrading, along with either significant changes or the entire replacement of his Molten Core ultimate. Again, I won't go into tremendous detail regarding what we know about the changes here, but if you're interested, then I'll include a card on screen linking to my video on it. Now, as for the timeline of when we can expect to see this rework in-game, or at the very least on PTR, it should be pretty soon. One reason for this is simply how long Blizzard has been working on it and what they've said. For example, the currently known details of the rework were announced all the way back in July. So if Blizzard at least had a remotely clear idea of what they wanted back then, it's likely that they've made good progress by this point. Now, the amount of time passed alone doesn't guarantee that it'll be soon, as other things could have caused it to be delayed, and we simply don't know what all Blizzard is working on internally. However, another good indicator that it'll be soon comes from how Overwatch dev Scott Mercer responded to a question about the rework at the Overwatch Fan Festival.
Do you have any details on Torbjorn's rework? new details because we learned.
Yeah, it's coming along. I don't think it'll be in the next patch.
The way he skeptically says he didn't think it'd be in the next patch, presumably referring to the same patch as Busan, indicates that Blizzard must be close to wrapping up the rework. That means it could very well be in the next patch following Busan, but if not then almost certainly in the one after that. Either way, I'm confident that there will be new details on it, if not the rework itself, on the PTR by the end of the month. Now, this brings us to the last major imminent update, which is the third and final new in-game social feature. I'm sure nearly everyone is familiar with this upcoming feature by now, but having been given a late summer, early fall release window, it's a bit surprising that we haven't heard anything more about this feature since the addition of endorsements in LFG back in June. Like the Torbjorn rework, we could easily see it in the patch following Busan. However, as for what exactly this new social feature will be, I have to say that the most likely thing is some kind of guild or clan system. The game could certainly stand to benefit from a social feature like this, and I actually made a whole video recently exploring the idea of Overwatch clans and what all they could do for the game. If you haven't seen that video, then you can check it out through the card on screen. Overall, there are a lot of exciting new updates and changes coming to Overwatch that we can expect to see pretty soon. Following the conclusion of the Nanocola Challenge mini-event, Blizzard will need to say or do something that catches people's interest once again. So even if we don't get further news on any of these 4 things I talked about here, we'll almost certainly be seeing something. But let me know down in the comments below what you're excited for most in the near future of Overwatch. We just recently got that leak for the upcoming Halloween event, so maybe even that's what's got your interest. Be sure to vote in today's poll card and check the pinned comment down below for any further updates on these topics. If you enjoyed this video, then be sure to leave a like and share it with a friend if you really liked it. Subscribe and hit the bell to not miss my future Overwatch content, and follow me on Twitter for fun polls and channel updates. This is Master Ian Gamer signing off, and until next time, have a great day.